Hi, welcome to Ian HRP on YouTube and welcome to today's video for the Olympus OMD EM1 Mk2. Welcome to the video for today, and this is a beautiful camera. This is the Olympus OMD EM1 Mk2. I have upgraded this, upgraded to this from my EM1 EM10 Mk2, which I had for about 18 months. Reason for upgrade: when I moved from Olympus, I was working with the when I moved from Canon, I was working with the 770D, and I sort of had enough of lugging stuff around, and I wanted to go to mirrorless, and I went for the Olympus as the brand and ecosystem that I was going to buy into. And I should have really picked up this camera first of all instead of going for the EM10. The EM10's a wonderful little camera. It's a really nice walk around camera. It takes some fantastic photos. It's quick. The battery's not brilliant, but it's a really nice camera. However, for the stuff that I like to shoot, so wildlife, motorsport, sports, portraits, etc., it really just didn't muster. It didn't hit the mark really for that. So I have decided to go and upgrade to the EM1, and it is a absolute stunner of a camera. It's really nice. It just works so well. It's so well built. It feels so nice in the hand. It's nice to have a decent grip as well. That was one of the things with the EM10. The grip was probably to about there, so I had to buy an external grip so I could feel more comfortable, but this just fits really nice. And with pro lenses, so that's a 12 to 40, I've also got the 40 to 150 lens as well. It just feels like a workhorse of a camera. Right, let's have a closer look around all the different options and stuff you have on this camera. So along the top of the camera we obviously have our on-off switch. Here we have our HDR button, which I find really useful. I do quite a bit of HDR, and we also have our autofocus selection as well. We then have this really nice dial. It's a proper old-fashioned dial on a camera. It feels very nice indeed. So you obviously have your manual, shutter priority, aperture priority. Do you know, I've never used P. I don't really know what P is, I'll be completely honest. Your auto, never use that. Your art, which has all the different art filters you can put on there. Your video, and then you've got your custom layout as well. So C1, C2 and C3. Mine is 9 times out of 10 on aperture priority. It's always what I shoot with. You have your control dial here, which you can configure to do what you want. Basically pretty much any button on this camera can be configured. At the moment I have this one configured to change the f-stop, so I can just move that back and forth when I'm in aperture priority. You have another function button here. This is your record button for video, and this is the shutter button. I'll just turn the camera on. Ooh, not the other camera, there we go. So at the moment I have back button focus set up, so that's my back button focus, that's my focus button, but you can obviously, most people or some people will have their shutter. What I have found though is that the half press for the focus, it's very easy to focus and fire at the same time without realising it, so hence the reason I've got the back button focus on there, and then I can fire away. Let's just turn off, save some battery. Again, you have your AL and AFL option and switch there. As I said, I've got that button particularly used for back button focusing. Your info button, this is your control pad, which I would have preferred perhaps a joystick. Would have been quite nice, but it's fine. I use it all the time, so there's no problem there. Your menu, play button, and then delete. And then on the front of the camera, just down here, we have two buttons which can be programmed. I've got one set for focus peaking, and then the other one I don't particularly use, if I'm honest. And then obviously that's your button to change your lenses. And this is for your flash sync, I believe. I've never actually taken that off, so I'm not quite sure. Ports around the side, we have the HDMI here. So you have, I'll just get that right. You have mini HDMI and also USB port there. You have your mic, your headphone socket there, and your mic socket there. So if you're doing video, you can listen back to your audio, and you can obviously have an external microphone. And then on this side, you have two card slots. At the moment, I've got both cards in. I haven't got the UHD cards at the moment, so I've just got normal SD cards. But this card slot 1 does support UHD if you want it as well. So I've got RAW on that card, and then the JPEG backup on that card as well. Nice to have two card slots. And then this particular button behind here is for where you can put your external remote control shutter. And then on the back you have the battery. It's a nice healthy size battery. It is, let's have a look, what are we, a 1720 milliamp hour battery. Yesterday I was out shooting a local rugby match, and I managed to get 2,270 photos off one battery, and it was on 27% when I finished as well, from 100%. So that's pretty impressive. My the OM10 would probably get about 200 to 300 shots before the battery started going. So it's very nice to have a decent battery on here. And obviously you can use, if you take that off, you can use the battery grip as well. I don't think I'll bother with that. I don't really need it. So this camera new is around £1,500. However, I brought this second hand off eBay. It had 10,000 count on the shutter, and I got it for quite a bit less than that, under £1,000 actually, which I was very, very happy with. It's in absolutely perfect condition, looks brand new, so yeah, very happy. So if you shop around, eBay is a good place. There's some good deals around. Just be careful on your shutter count. And then also in there, which I didn't realise you got, you get this dinky little flash. Aww. I've not used it yet, so I'm not quite sure what it does, but it's a nice little addition. Obviously it just sits on the shoe horse there. Shoe horse, whichever one. It sits there, and you can use that as well. But yeah, that was a nice little added bonus. Didn't realise I was going to be getting that. And it also came with two batteries, which is good, because I was going to thought I'd have to buy another battery at 60 quid for a battery. Absolutely ridiculous. If you do go for a third-party battery on these, what you will lose is the percentage of battery left on the viewfinder, because it won't allow you. The official batteries have some sort of priority stuff in there that allows them to show the percentage, and it won't do that on third-party batteries. But if I do need a battery, I will be going third-party, because they're just as good. So the camera does come with a very useful tilty flippy screen. You can literally rotate all the way round, which is very useful if you want to do some vlogging on there as well, or if you're shooting a selfie, etc. You can do that, and then obviously it spins around. I tend to have the screen closed. I don't tend to walk around with it. I don't very often use it for shooting unless I'm doing video or macro stuff as well, and I'm low down. It's useful for that, but I do tend to keep it closed just to protect the screen. Another example of the Pro Capture. This was taken early morning. The light wasn't brilliant at all, and this was a bird in flight using the Pro Capture, and as you can see, sorry, move my mouse on top of, as you can see, it manages to keep the bird in focus even with the noisy background. It hasn't jumped to the trees in the background and it is incredibly dark as well. These have not been touched, these are raw from the camera, so you can see that it is not ideal lighting at all, and it does manage to capture the bird all the way through for the sequence. So the camera allows you to shoot up to 60 frames a second in RAW with single autofocus, and with continual autofocus you can get 18 frames a second. And what it also does have as well is what's called Pro Capture. Now this allows you to shoot up to 35 frames in full resolution from the moment you half press the shutter, and then as soon as you press the shutter fully down you get non-stop shooting, and because you can go back in time you can get up to 35 frames before, so you can always get the exact moment, almost always. It doesn't always, well, for me anyway, it doesn't always work. But anyway, let me show you an example here. This is from a Uttoxeter Rugby Club rugby game, which I went to test the camera out pretty much. And as you can see, the player is just about to kick from the centre line, and it fires away, always in focus on that one. So this is the first frame, and then this is the last frame. It allows you to capture the action nice and easy with this camera. So one of the options that really interested me when I was looking at this camera was the high res mode. Now this enables the 20 megapixel sensor to produce a 20 megapixel image file. Now it does this by shifting the sensor around in one shot basically. So it takes 4 shots, shifts the sensor ever so slightly, and then mixes them together to give you one final image. And as you can see, the dimensions, which is this picture on this side here, the dimensions are 10,368 by 7,776, and compare that to the standard output is 5,184 by 3,888, and the detail that you can get is quite stunning. I've only done a quick shot of this, so let's have a look at this. So I'm going to zoom in here on the micro in Lightroom. So this is the 100% in this high res mode, and this is the standard 100%. So as you can see, you can get a lot closer in 100%, but the detail on here as well around the lettering is quite phenomenal. So the autofocus on the camera is incredibly quick, using the 121 point all cross type focus points that it uses, and also its subject tracking as well. As you can see, zooming in the lens, we get ultra quick focusing, and then zooming back out we will go and focus again. Nice and quick indeed. So I just wanted to show what you can get out of a file. The original image on this side, taken in a studio with some flash. The actual point of doing it like this was not because I was very bad at flash, just because we were trying to get a silhouette look, but I just thought this would make an interesting comparison of the information you can get out. So this is the original image, taken at f11 110 millimeters using the 40 to 150 Pro lens with flash, intentionally to darken the subject to get a silhouette, but this image on this side is what I've been able to get by ramping up the exposure. So let's just zoom in. So as you can see, the original, never noticed that before. So yes, the original there, and then you've managed to bring out the detail. Yes, you've gone quite noisy, but if I just go into the developer, let's just get rid of some noise. And then zoom out. Perfectly usable image actually, and just as an example, let me just turn the comparison off. This image here was shot in the same lighting, and this is what I've been able to get out of it as well. So a completely usable image, and actually an image I quite like. So yeah, the dynamic range that you can get out of this camera is fairly impressive for a Micro Four Thirds. Now the advantage of the 5-axis in-body stabilization on this camera is that you can get incredibly close with a long lens. So using the 40 to 150 with the 1.4 extender, so we are at 210 millimeter exposure. I was probably about 2 foot away, which is about the distance in for that lens, and as you can see, I managed to get right in on the eye. And the incredible detail that it's brought up for a 20 megapixel Micro Four Thirds camera, I am extremely impressed. Don't let anybody tell you that the Micro Four Thirds sensor cannot do good pictures, because it definitely can.
Another season we leave behind, another story that's got me blind. Got only you on my mind. I couldn't face what I couldn't find. Just need to know I need peace of mind. Where are you now? Even though I won't believe it, the truth is a lie, we are healing. Even though words are deceiving, you move on. 'Cause every time I try, yeah, every time I dream, there's always this big part of me wanna believe in what I see. If you can make me smile, if only for a while, there's always this big part of me wanna believe in what I see.
So my final thoughts on the Olympus OMD EM1 Mk2 is that it is the best camera I have ever had. I've gone from the Canon 70D Mark II, the Canon 70D, they didn't do a Mark II, to the Olympus EM10 Mark II, now to the EM1 Mark II, and it is absolutely fantastic. The build quality is pretty much spotless. It is rugged. The lenses that go with it are just is all I can say. The autofocus is very good, very quick. It snaps onto the target as soon as you press the button and keeps locked on with continuous autofocus. I've not had a problem with it. The image quality that comes out with it for me is brilliant. I never print larger than A3. I don't think I'm ever going to print larger than A3. You could with these quite easily. The overall build quality, the battery life is extremely good as well. I am easily getting over 2,000 shots compared to the official 420 shots on a single charge. The screen and the EVF are also very good as well. In fact, it's probably the best EVF I've seen on a mirrorless camera that I've tried, and I've shown it to a couple of photography friends who've been using some of the Canon mirrorless and also some others, and they all agree it's a really, really nice electric viewfinder. So yeah, I am extremely happy with it. It is probably, as I said, the best camera I have ever owned, and I am going to enjoy using it a lot, and I do not see me changing this camera for a long time. Right, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe, like and share, and we will have more videos coming up very soon. This is Ian HRP on YouTube. Until next time, bye for now.